자, 뉴욕타임즈의 부동산에 관한 글인데, 하우징 마켓에 관한 글인데, chill in the housing market seep into other industries. Real estate is a crucial cog in the U.S. economy, so any slowdown is widely felt. 부동산이 다른 산업에도 영향을 미치고 있다, 이런 글인데, John, a home inspector in Alameda, California, kept buying during the pandemic when the housing market was red hot. But as the U.S. interest rate started to rise about halfway through 2022, he noticed that his workload began to drop. Last year, the number of jobs had plummeted. My biddings is about 50% of what it was, said Mr. M, who works as a contractor for BPG Inspection, which provides service to home buyers across the nation. As far as I am concerned, it's a really bad year. So bad, in fact, that I am actually thinking about a side hustle. He said, adding that he's starting to receive a commercial captain's license in the hope of getting a job operating a ferry or another vessel if the housing market does not rebound. High home prices and elevated mortgage rate, which squeezed the housing market last year, have dragged down a number of other related sectors like real estate services and mortgages lending. But housing is such a crucial cog in the American economy that this slowdown has also threatened industries like home improvement and storage. Existing home sales are under so much pressure, said that as president of the fund management firm Pacer ETFs. We are sort of existing a place that where real estate across the board held an excellent environment. Sales of existing homes, which make up most of the nation's housing stock, were down roughly 7% in November from a year earlier, according to the National Association of Realtors. Federal Reserve policymakers held interest rate steady at their meeting in December and signaled that the central bank would begin cutting interest rate in 2024, offering hope to the residential market, which is more sensitive to interest rate change. The factors that kept the people from buying a home in 2023 were myriad, including soaring prices. The median price of an existing single-family home was $392,100 in November, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, making home buying unaffordable for the large swaths of the population, even as mortgage rates have dipped below 7%. Would-be buyers are also facing a lack of houses on the market. Some homeowners don't want to sell their homes and forfeit the low mortgage rate that they landed just a few years ago. About 4 out of 5 homeowners with mortgages have a rate lower than 5%, and about a quarter have a rate lower than 3%, According to a study conducted by the online brokerage Redfin, even baby boomers who might consider downsizing are finding that it might not be cost effective to take out a new mortgage with the rate at their current levels. The contagion from the slowdown in the housing market last year has been wide ranging. Professionals like real estate agents and mortgage providers are the most visible collateral damage. But other service providers, such as title insurance companies, escrow companies, home appraisers, and the inspectors, are also seeing biddings dry up. Other ones, hot markets, are seeing a similar shift. Our best year in the biddings was 2021 at the height of COVID, said Scott, owner of Trace Inspection, which performs home inspection in the Nashville area. Then interest rate started going up, and people just stopped buying homes unless they really needed to. Mr. P said the combination of low inventory and a high mortgage rate was slowing the number of home purchases, particularly among first-time buyers. Folks that have been affected the most are people buying starter homes. He said the interest rates are really hurting them. They're the ones we are not seeing as much. Companies involved in moving and storing people's belongings are also coping with the slowdown that executives attribute to slumping home sales. In a call with analysis in August, Edward, president and chief executive of U-Haul, blamed the contraction in moving activity for a decline in the company's first-quarter revenue. Demand for storage units boomed during the pandemic as people spent more time at home or took advantage of a lower mortgage rate by buying a home. Developers capitalized on this with investor funds fueling the construction of new storage facilities around the country. When you had in the pandemic and the post-pandemic was just an abundance of supply, said the M, an equity analyst at CFRA Research. At pandemic year, the consumption patterns have waned. Some companies have struggled. In September, an analyst at Morgan Stanley cut their target price of extra space at the storage, and the Wells Fargo analyst published a research note warning about overall softness in the sector. Storage biddings are having to choose between shoring up occupancy by cutting rate or increasing them to generate more revenue, at the risk of having customers defected to competitors. Homeowners remodels and redesigned during the pandemic, snapping up new recliners, refrigerators, and widescreen TVs. Now, retailers face a challenging sales environment. Demand for furniture, appliances, and home electronics had fallen, according to a Bank of America analysis conducted in 2022. Fewer people buying homes has meant lower demand for big-ticket items like sofas and the home stereo system, said the R, head of analytical research at analytics firm Appraiser AI. So many people bought home furnishing during the pandemic years that those that purchase supplanted those that might others be taking place now, depressing demand further. As of the beginning of September, Pricer found visit to home goods retailers were down roughly 15% from a year earlier, and the visit to electronic stores were down 12%. Younger adults are a big potential source of demand for this kind of goods, experts say. I think a lot of millennials in particular are looking to move to have a larger home, said Timothy, Chief Investment Officer at the Wealth Management firm Girard. It's been relatively impossible to do so, given a lack of inventory out there. Yet that is translating into a decline in spending on durable goods, he said. Home improvement retailers face similar challenges. Anything associated with moving is not happening, and that's a lot, said Scott, the founder and managing partner of R5 Capital, a consulting and research firm. Executives at Home Depot told investors on a third quarter earnings call in November that Americans were buying fewer big ticket items. Lowe's reported lower spending on do-it-yourself projects in the same quarter. Home improvement retailers typically benefit when people who are unable to buy a new home decide instead to renovate their current home. But consumers had less appetite for big renovation in 2023 because bigger interest rate raised the cost of borrowing. Although the sharp increase in home values has given homeowners more equity on paper, getting access to it has become more expensive.